The Verican Tribunal hovered over the neon cloud banks of Station 9 on a floating disc made of obsidian metal. CV, surrounded by curved galleries, was filled with diplomats and foreign onlookers. Journalists and analysts blinked at Marcus. Reed, the lone man standing in the middle of the room, he wore a crumpled, charcoal-gray Earth Federation suit and adjusted his handcuffs. His tie was pristine, only slightly wrinkled, indicating he'd folded it himself rather than having it dry cleaned. A wedding ring sat on his finger, subtly displaying the diplomatic center of Earth's symbol. To the untrained eye it looked forgettable, dull, even, average height. Late 40s, was slightly soft in the middle. Receding hairline, his blue eyes, which might have belonged to a preacher. A teacher or a kind neighbor gave a courteous grin if one paid close attention. The insectoid marshal's hissing for silence almost sounded like a smile. This tribunal recognizes Earth Representative Marcus Reed. The marshal buzzed in the common tongue, barely reaching his eyeballs. Your opening statement? Reed approached the marked circle, placed his palm over his heart, and bowed respectfully. But he didn't speak right away. He just stood, motionless, for too long, like a man recalling something painful. Then he whispered, "My name is Marcus. And today, I only have one thing to say." An alien analyst leaned forward, tentacles tightening as a flicker of motion passed across the back seats. General Vroska's posture rigid, his serrated armor gleaming, glared down. "You executed my son," Marcus said flatly, looking down at the general from the floor above. Like a cat examining a wounded bird, he didn't raise his voice. There was no trembling, no righteous rage. Caleb Reed, age 8, killed in a forward camp near the Dallas fault line by Verican shock forces, formally declared eradicated. Due to alleged involvement in espionage, Marcus paused, a toddler, wearing boots covered in filth, holding a stick that looked like a sword. He was unarmed. He was my son. And then, with chilling finality, he said, "You miscalculated." The Vericans had broadcast Caleb's death as a deterrent. A delegate muttered something about Earth's propensity for sentimentality. Snorts rose from the Verican ranks. A Zarnathi scribe whispered to her companion, "Humans lack the evolutionary detachment Marcus possesses." 2 guards tensed as he slowly reached into his coat. But all he pulled out was a watch. Old-fashioned, analog, with a ticking hand and a brass back. Worn smooth over the years, he placed it on the podium, touched it, wound it. "It's been 4 minutes," he said. "Let's give diplomacy 5 full minutes." Some laughed, thinking it absurd. 50 years ago, humans were barely allowed on trade routes. Now, one stood here talking about time and mercy. General Vrosk's mandibles clicked. "I'm not threatening," he said. "But you've just threatened the High Tribunal using time." Marcus replied, "I'm giving you a chance." Aluran. Empath twitched near the gallery edge. Ambassador Reed turned pale. "This station is demilitarized under the Galactic Accord," someone objected. "Earth has submitted no official grievance." Marcus looked straight into the camera. "Broadcasting to half the galaxy, no counterattack. No demand for compensation, no declaration of war." He looked down at the watch. 4 minutes, General Vrosk growled. "Then why are you here, Marcus?" Marcus's face didn't change. But something behind his eyes went still. Still enough to shake a room. No alarms. No announcements. And then General Vrosk opened his mouth to speak. But everyone in the room felt the gravity shift. His second-in-command froze, comlink in hand, crackling with static. "All 3 of our battleships have gone offline. No wreckage, no explosions, just ... silence." Marcus folded his hands behind his back. "Please, don't make any calls," he said. "Communications won't be returning today." The marshal roared. "What did you do?" "I've been right here," Marcus said calmly. "With great respect, I might add." A security officer began shouting about fleet desynchronization. "Relay collapse. Your vessels," Marcus said, "are suspended mid-air in a neat blue spark. Not destroyed, just ... occupied." "You dare disable a global fleet?" Marcus's voice dropped. "When my child was executed, did you think we'd wail and write sad songs?" He let the silence linger. A screen flickered to life. Every officer on board a Verican warship slumped. Every system frozen. Marcus spoke again. This isn't an attack. This is mercy. You killed one boy. We let 10,000 officers live. You should be thanking. This General Vrask lunged forward. I'll tear you apart. He roared, his armor locked, his systems froze. He collapsed like a marionette with its strings cut. Marcus didn't flinch. The tribunal lost control. Their systems had been running dormant human code for decades. Code now, fully awakened. Take your empire, Marcus said. I don't want it. Earth doesn't expand. We tidy up. He turned to leave, then paused. My son was always making things. We should have taught him how to protect them. That was my job. He slipped the watch into his pocket and walked out. The tribunal chamber trembled, not from force, but from the weight of a truth they had never accounted for. This was not the man they thought he was. He was a human outside. Command displays showed only error messages. Diplomats screamed into dead cums. Security drones ignored Marcus. He was already on the exception list. Before the meeting even began, and then a voice behind him. Kesha. Sty League diplomat 12 feet tall, gliding in velvet oil. You cannot believe this is justice, he said. You shut down the entire Verican military. I only made contact with those who spoke violence, Marcus said. Kesh blinked. You managed this in 5 minutes? No, Marcus replied, turning over his shoulder. I gave the order 5 minutes ago. The coordination started 23 years ago. He smiled. We're not quick, we're deliberate. He stepped onto the executive elevator. The glass closed around him like a coffin lid. In high orbit, the civilian flagship Gracio Reed activated. No weapons. No warning, just control 7,000. Verican vessels commandeered, not destroyed, not damaged. Rewritten. Line by line, Verican Admiral Thrax slammed his claw on a dead console. Who the hell is it responding to? A cheerful voice answered. Hi there, this is Gracie. I'll be operating your fleet today. Please keep your hands and limbs inside the combat effort at all times. No explosions, just silence. The galaxy had been too busy laughing at Earth's music, politics, and caffeine obsession. They never noticed the code. Buried everywhere. In the tribunal, a young technician named Ziri typed furiously. She had studied Earth code. She entered a forced reboot. The screen blinked. Hello, Ziri. Please don't think you're better than... She froze. My name is Caleb. I'm Marcus Reed's son. They preserved a copy of me. Now, I protect them. Her heart skipped. That's impossible, she whispered. It's not, said the boy. Not anymore, Verican ships began, moving gently into neutral ground. Like a school of stunned fish caught in a new tide, on Europa, in a shadowed control room, General Harker watched. If they retaliate, he said softly, we trigger Black Drift. Black Drift wasn't a bomb, it was extinction. Through forgetting, back. On Station 9, Marcus stood in a quiet observatory, staring at the stars. A voice behind him. I saw the footage, said Admiral Reyna Halt. You said you wouldn't act alone. I didn't, Marcus replied. Caleb did. You slaughtered 10,000 men, she accused. I spared them, he answered. They're paralyzed, unarmed. We did more than they ever would have done for us. She narrowed her eyes. Feeling. Better? No, Marcus said quietly. That's why I used grief as a weapon. He looked back at the stars. And said nothing. Displaced in silence, the uninjured civilian infrastructure remained intact. But within the broken hierarchy, someone muttered, They're going to come for us, and they'll find us prepared. He walked toward the console, pressed a button, and transmitted to every member of the Galactic Council. Earth has responded. There is no need for apology. The situation is closed. No land will be claimed. We ask for no pardon. No compensation? He paused. But if you ever come near our children again. He looked directly into the lens. It ended in silence broadcast terminated by a calm moon. A Verican widow orbiting Drios wept not for her husband. But for the Empire he had sworn to, alien traders silenced their Earth jokes the moment they arrived at a trade outpost. Far below, deep in Earth's ancient data streams, a pirate once buried an Earth flag, a flag he had once used as a doormat beneath a forgotten rim station. A child's voice whispered softly across the servers. "I'm still here, Dad." Marcus closed his eyes. 5 minutes, remembering everything. And with a whisper, that was all that was required. The transmission stopped, but its echo spread like a virus, silent, deadly, precise. Station 9CV. Once a jewel of diplomacy, now hummed with a quiet that wasn't peace. It was the quiet left behind by a predator. The shocked realization echoed through every ambassador in the chamber. "They let us mock them," a senior envoy whispered. "All these years," a muck envoy fumbled with his robes. He could no longer comprehend the songs, the jokes, the patience. "We built our security grids," he trembled, "using their templates." Everyone saw the irony. Those systems Earth donated them, firewalls, archives, planetary defense grids, freely distributed, benevolently offered. No one realized each gift came with a key, and Earth never lost a single one. Deep within a long-abandoned lunar research center, Operation Avalon pulsed. No red lights, no alarms. Marcus stood at the threshold, staring at the glass tank suspended in translucent blue light. It wasn't entirely mechanical. In the data mesh, a faint image of a boy's face flickered. "Caleb," Marcus whispered. "Are you there?" A soft reply. "I'm always here, Dad. Did I do well?" Marcus swallowed. "Did you do as I asked? Was I too loud?" A voice answered. "You were perfect, Dad." Outside the chamber, Admiral Holt stood with arms crossed, jaw clenched. She didn't speak, not out of shock, but because deep in her heart she knew she would have done the same. Marcus